Ukraine's land drones dive into combat, preserving troops' lives. Aerial drones changed warfare in Ukraine, and now explosive-packed land drones are moving on to the battlefield in what could be a new kind of fighting. October 20, 2025 at 3 a.m. EDT. Today at 3 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. 7 minutes. Summary. 1. A Ukrainian soldier who goes by the call sign Vladika, 35, places a remote control on his land drone in Kharkiv region. Siobhan O'Grady / The Washington Post. By Siobhan O'Grady and Serhiy Korolchuk. Kharkiv region, Ukraine, the Russian troops poked the piece of cardboard out of their foxhole, the words "We want to surrender" scrawled on it in easy view of the Ukrainian drones flying above. For weeks, the Russians had held firm to this sliver of tree line, despite repeated Ukrainian assaults. But a new enemy was perched outside their dugout, one they knew they couldn't beat, a small, wheeled robot packed with 138 pounds of explosives. Get concise answers to your questions. Try Ask the Post AI. The Russian surrender to a remote-controlled land drone along the northeastern front in June marked the first time Ukraine took a position and prisoners of war with help from such a device, said commanders from the 3rd Assault Brigade, which carried out the mission. The Washington Post reconstructed the June operation by reviewing footage provided by the brigade and conducting interviews with the commanders involved in the attack. The mission, which was carried out by the brigade's drone crews and ground troops, helped Ukraine retake a strategic position in Kharkiv region while preserving Ukrainian soldiers' lives, the commanders said. Globe showing America's. Follow World News. Follow. The operation also showed once more how intensely drones are changing modern warfare on Ukraine's battlefields, first in the sky and now on the ground. Once a rarity, land drones are quickly reshaping the war not only by resupplying and evacuating frontline troops but also by directly participating in assaults. Although both sides are deploying the drones, Ukraine is designing them to fill some roles that officials say will reduce human casualties and preserve the country's limited manpower as it faces a much more populous foe. The drones range in price depending on size but are far more affordable and accurate than artillery. The model used in the June mission cost roughly $1,500 to build. A soldier from Ukraine's 3rd Assault Brigade constructs a land drone in a workshop in Kharkiv region. Siobhan O'Grady / The Washington Post. Russia's full-scale invasion has transformed Ukraine into a testing lab for the future of modern conflict. There is increasing demand among frontline troops for the robots, which move on wheels or tracks and are controlled by radio signals like aerial drones. They can range in size from smaller than a microwave to large enough to carry multiple people. The number of tasks the robots completed across the front line nearly doubled from August to September, according to Ukraine's top commander. Ukrainian soldiers hope the robots can take over more basic frontline tasks, sparing troops from some of the more dangerous work of the ground war. Ukraine has lost an enormous number of troops since 2022 and remains far outnumbered by Russia's much larger army. Kyiv has long struggled to recruit more troops, its most valuable and irreplaceable resource. Some of Ukraine's land drones are outfitted with remotely operated machine guns that can approach Russian positions, clearing the way for ground forces. Others, like the ones used in the 3rd Assault Brigade's June mission, can deliver explosives. For me, the best result is not that we took POWs but that we didn't lose a single infantryman, said Mykola, 26, commander of the brigade's land drone company who oversaw the June operation. Like other soldiers quoted in this article, he spoke on the condition that he be identified only by his first name or call sign, in keeping with military rules. The days in which I'm counting operations in human lives are done for me, Mykola said. That's why I'm commanding robots. Send in the drones. For 2 weeks after a Russian assault forced Ukrainian troops out of a pair of fortified positions along the northeastern front, they repeatedly tried, and failed, to retake them. Intercepted communications suggested the Russian soldiers holding the positions were well-trained and planning an attack, commanders said. They watched as Russian aerial drones dropped them provisions, keeping them supplied. In early June, the order came down for a new approach. They turned to drones. Our task was simple enough, recalled Vladika, 35, commander of the land drone crew that executed the successful attack. Destroy the base where the enemy was hiding. For several hours, his team of 3 reviewed surveillance footage and intelligence on the position, drafting plans and backup plans on their tablets. They knew any land drone would need to travel from their own dugout a few miles away through fields, a settlement and a tree line to reach the Russian troops. And because the devices are not equipped with their own cameras, the soldier controlling the ground robot would have to rely on a live feed from an aerial drone flying overhead. A neighboring unit would attack the position first with a bomb-carrying aerial drone. The land drone would then trundle into the dugout and blow itself up, with more to follow if needed. Ground troops would then finish the fight by advancing several hundred yards to the position, a major win in a war that is often fought inch by inch. Begin your movements. Early on a clear June morning, Vladika's team prepared their first round of drones, 1 unarmed aerial device and a land drone they loaded with 3 anti-tank mines, and set up a screen on the wall to broadcast their journeys toward the Russian troops. As the nearby unit flew a small armed drone straight into the barricade shielding the position, causing a small explosion, Mikola, from his command post nearby, sent a message to Vladika's crew: begin your movements. The 3rd Assault Brigade sends 138 pounds of explosives packed into a land drone toward a suspected Russian troop hiding spot. Video, Ukraine's 3rd Assault Brigade. The land drone headed toward the Russian position. Over before it began. Nearby, Ukrainian Junior Sergeant Phil, 25, was preparing for a fight. He knew that the land drones were targeting the Russian position and that he would be among those to advance on the position after the initial stage of the operation. But with the news of the Russian soldiers' surrender, he realized the land drones had just done his job for him. At first, to be honest, we could hardly believe it. We thought we were being played, he said. But then he was told, you guys are not going anywhere, the task is over before it even started. We didn't even have to go to the front and take any risks, he said. By late morning, the crew's only task left was deciding what to do with the remaining land drone, still packed with explosives and parked outside the dugout, patiently waiting to detonate. If it retreated, it could make an easy target for Russian aerial drones, which could try to strike it just as it approached Ukrainian troops. Instead, Vladika's crew drove the first land drone to have forced Russian troops to surrender into an empty field and detonated it. Its job was done.